Cubs are in first place in the NL Central, but it's not a comfortable lead. And it looks like, according to The Athletic, the Cubs want to strengthen their lineup in two areas, third base and their bench. Not a surprise to us. We talked about that on this channel. We're going to get into that. What are the options at third base that could present itself at the trade deadline? The Diamondbacks are sellers. Could there be a blockbuster deal to be made? And Cubs prospect Jefferson Rojas, the number 3 rated prospect in the organization, has been the subject of a lot of trade rumors. He was just promoted to Double-A Tennessee. We're going to talk about that as well. All that right here on the Cubs Baseball channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up. Thank you guys for hanging, being here, part of what we do. And don't forget, we're brought to you by D-Community. That's where we're going to be giving away playoff tickets. That's where we're going to meet and talk about the Cubs. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Let's get this thing going. What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, Cubs Baseball channel, and it's great to see you guys here today. Follow me at Broadcaster Mick. Been working with the Cubs organization for 20 years, been a fan for 40 plus years. So it is always awesome to talk to you guys here on the Cubs Baseball channel. And don't forget our D community. There's the QR code. We're building it right now. We're going to meet there for prizes, including tickets to the Cubs playoff game, which I think is coming, or games. We'll see what happens. But stay tuned to that. Stay connected with us at D community. All right. Let me start with this right here. Cubs are predicted to upgrade at third base and their bench. That's according to The Athletic. I think this is going to happen. And you start looking around and you know that the trade deadline is coming. It's coming pretty fast. Matt Shaw homered in last night's game. It's good to see it. I don't think they're giving up on Matt Shaw. I just think that they're looking at the struggles he's having offensively, and they're saying, all right, what do we have now on this team, right? We could move that rookie to the bench, or we could send him back to Iowa, and then maybe when the rosters expand, bring him back. If it's me, I'm leaving him on the team, and I'm going to move maybe Birdie or Brujan, probably Brujan, just because I like Birdie having that speed that you might need in the postseason. The other guy is Turner, and at the same time, really like Turner, what he brings to the clubhouse, but at times it just feels like he doesn't give you a whole lot of options because he can't play the field anymore, right? When he got him, I thought, hey, this guy's going to play some third base. There's no chance. I mean, he can't even play first base. He has a tough time catching the ball on throws, let alone when it's hit to him. So what are the options for the Cubs? If they go and get a star at third base, then Shaw could help their bench. So they could kill two birds with one stone. So, I'm looking at a list on CBS Sports of the 5 best third base options that are out there. The first one is Nolan Arenado. There is no chance that the Cubs are making a trade with the Cardinals. I just don't see it happen. Arenado's had a great career. He's batting .248, 10 home runs, 41 knocked in. He is a Gold Glover. I mean, he plays great defense, but he's a Cardinal. And the Cubs and the Cardinals don't make a lot of trades. They got us on probably the worst trade in franchise history, one of the worst ever in baseball when the Cubs traded Lou Brock there. Could Owen Casey be another guy that could do some damage like that? Yes. I don't know if he's Lou Brock. I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer, but I am telling you the guy can play, and I would hate to see him wearing that Cardinals red every time the Cubs had to play him. If they're gonna trade him, I wish they wouldn't. I wish they would just promote him to the big leagues and maybe have him help your bench and platoon, but that's not what's going to happen. I'm pretty sure they're going to trade him, and somebody's going to get a pretty good, rookie, and then eventually a very solid everyday big leaguer in Owen Casey, right? So Nolan Arenado is not, to me, an option. Now, another team in the division is the Pirates. Ke'Bryan Hayes is someone that the Cubs have been kind of connected to in deals. I'm not a Ke'Bryan Hayes fan. I mean, he plays great defense. I know that. But I don't need a defensive third baseman. We already got one in Shaw. He plays good enough defense. Hayes has some speed. He's only hit 2 home runs. He's got 29 batted in and a 240 average. I'm not. This isn't the guy that I want if I'm the Cubs. And maybe you make a deal with the Pirates. I feel like the Cubs are thinking about him. But to me, and this is what it goes back to, if you're going to win the World Series, you're going to win it with impact players, right? As much as I don't want to make a trade with the Cardinals, Arenado is a much bigger impact player than Hayes is. But I feel like because of that, Hayes is a guy that is going to be who's going to be easier to make a deal to get. And, we'll see. But no, there's no pop there. I don't think he really stretches your lineup that much. And honestly, I feel like with Shaw and Birdie and Bruhan, I mean, we already have a Hayes. Another name that pops up that is definitely intriguing is Ryan McMahon, former All-Star. He's owed $16 million a year over the next 2 seasons, so he would cost the Cubs some. He's only hitting .210, but he's got 12 home runs this year, so he's got that pop, 26 runs batted in. Now, you remember he plays in Colorado. That's kind of an inflation of stats. He's on a really, really bad team. Maybe coming to the Cubs helps out. He's definitely intriguing to me. I like him better than Hayes, but I still don't know that that's the guy and the move you make. And then there's Eugenio Suárez of the Diamondbacks. And I feel like if you're the Cubs and you're trying to stretch this lineup and you want to put another threat in there, Suárez is the guy to do that. 28 home runs, 74 runs batted in. Think about having him in the lineup, and I've talked about this before, with Seiya Suzuki, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Tucker, right? You never know what you're getting day to day from Ian Happ. Up and down. He's quiet. He's back. There's no consistency there. Those other 3 guys have been very consistent. Dansby Swanson's having trouble, but he's hitting the long ball. This guy makes the lineup a lot better, and it's already a great lineup. Now, if the Cubs are going to make this trade, they're going to have to obviously give up something, and maybe this is a deal that includes some pitching because the Diamondbacks have the pitching, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. And then the last guy is Ramon. Ramon Reyes. Get it out of my mouth here. Anyway, he's on Baltimore's team. The Orioles are trying to hang in there. Urias is having a decent season. I still don't put him on there and go, wow, at batting 255 with 6 home runs and 29 batted in. He gives you anywhere close to the impact of Suárez. Suárez is the guy you want out of this group. Or maybe if you're the Cubs, that you just don't add a third baseman. Maybe you go get somebody for the bench, and maybe that's the move that you make. But if you're talking about impact moves that are going to win you a World Series, and you look at what happened in 2016, and you go out and you get Aroldis Chapman, you go out and get the most dominant closer available, and the guy saves a ton of games into the postseason. You lock down the games when you're ahead late. You win the World Series because of that, right? At least partially. And I remember Theo Epstein and people talking about what is the secret behind Theo Epstein. And the secret to me is always go after the most elite talent and let those guys eat. And of that list, there's 2 guys on there that would be interesting to me. I'm not trading with the Cardinals. That leaves me Suárez. And that also opens up what we can talk about with the Diamondbacks. Now, reports indicate that the Diamondbacks are going to be sellers. Okay. This makes sense to me. I mean, you're talking about a club in the Diamondbacks that come from a very, very small market. And they went all in. They made a run to the World Series a couple of years ago. They lost to the Rangers. They went out and they signed Corbin Burns. They spent a ton of money. And in typical long-term contract fashion, he gets hurt and he's out. And now all of a sudden, you've got a team that is kind of falling out of the race. You're in a tough division. And you got these big salaries. And you got 2 guys that are going to be leaving at the end of the year. Zach Gallen would certainly be someone you would feel comfortable at the top of the rotation with. Merrill Kelly is also a guy that you'd feel good having in your rotation. Both of them are free agents at the end of the year. They're probably going to get traded. I'd say not even probably, they are being traded. What if the Cubs pulled a deal off? You get Suárez, you get one of the two starters. You're going to have to give up some players to do that. You're going to also have to put some money in there. But with the way that things are going right now for the Diamondbacks, this is a team, if I'm the Cubs, I'm comfortable trading with. They're in my league, but they're not in my division, right? You're not facing them all the time. You play them 7 games a year. And they're going to take on the Dodgers. They're going to take on the Padres. They're going to take on the Giants. They're not playing you a lot. It's a lot easier to make a deal for me when I don't have to see those teams in my division, a.k.a. Cardinals, a.k.a. the Pirates, a.k.a. the Reds. We're not trading with the Reds. We're not trading with the Cardinals. Probably the Pirates because of Mitch Keller and also LeBron Hayes. But I'm telling you, the Diamondbacks are the best trade partner that you could have if you're able to pull a deal off for whatever they want to get back those players. But they have the guys with the World Series experience that could help you get over the hump. So we'll see what happens, but it's worth talking about. And if I'm Matt Shaw, I'm still going out there and I'm grinding every day. I'm hitting, I'm not giving up, because even if they make a trade, they still have to make a decision on what they're going to do with you. And if I'm the Cubs, I'm just moving him into a bench spot. I'm taking advantage of his versatility in the field. I'm going to take advantage of his ability to hit the long ball and give him the experience that it takes to be in the major leagues. If I'm the Cubs also as well, I'm promoting Owen Casey to the big leagues now. I did a video on that a couple of days ago. Make sure that you watch it. I'm not just saying that because I don't want the Cubs to trade him. I just want the Cubs to win the World Series. This is a guy that comes in with a very good ability for extra base hits when he barrels the ball up. He is ready to be a major leaguer. He's ready to be an everyday major leaguer, and we don't have a spot for him every day. But you can ease him in, use him off of the bench, bring the energy and enthusiasm that young players bring. And I also feel like with Pete Crow Armstrong there and Matt Shaw there, Daniel Palencia, all these guys that Casey played with, it's going to be a much different atmosphere than it was when Pete Crow Armstrong tried to break in 23, where it just didn't feel like the team was really that enamored by him. Then they figured out, hey, the guy's damn good. And now all of a sudden, they love him. He's going to throw his helmet when he gets out. I told you that when he was coming. He's going to throw the bat sometimes. He's not happy when he doesn't succeed. But he wants to win every single play, every single game. And that makes him very Javi Baez to me, which, by the way, loved the picture of him and Baez at the All-Star game. Baez was his favorite player growing up, and he brings that enthusiasm to the game. Talking about promotions, how about this? The Cubs promoted one of their top prospects, Jefferson Rojas, to AA. He's played a couple of games for the Knoxville Smokies. He came up after 67 games as the number 3 Cubs prospect, shortstop, infielder type, 11 home runs, 44 knocked in, and a 278 batting average. He also had 70 hits. He's a good defender. I'm going to tell you this. I watched his first 2 games. The guy he's got the it thing. You know, when he hits the ball, it sounds really loud. He's also been the subject of a lot of trade rumors, and teams are going to want talent like Rojas. They love the fact that if you play shortstop, you can pretty much play anywhere else on the field if you really want to. Like I said, the bat plays, it's loud. He just has that ability to hit for power. When you look at him as a young player, you're going, man, this guy could potentially grow into a 30, 35 home run type of guy. And he is being promoted to AA, and then we'll see what he does there. So we'll find out. I think it was a good move by the Cubs, but all of the things that are happening right now in the organization, and the video yesterday was all about it, are based on people being available for deals. And I think the Cubs have a lot of players that are available, and teams are out there trying to figure out who they want to make a deal. Also, talking about deals, finally, for the first time since June 20th, Jackson Wiggins pitched, and he looked great. He walked the first batter. He threw 6 straight balls to start his AA outing, and then he ended up striking out the final 5. Fastball was looking good. The off-speed stuff was there. So they basically slowed down him because of his innings count, and then he got out there and got the job done. So good for him. All right, look, that does it for the show. Cubs are looking for a sweep of the Red Sox. This is one of those uniform games that I love. I've enjoyed watching this entire series. How about the Cubs going into Yankee Stadium, beating up on the Bronx Bombers? then have the Red Sox come to Wrigley, giving them a good old-fashioned country butt whooping and looking for a sweep today, right? So maybe the game's already happened by the time you guys are watching this, but if you haven't, it's Garrett Crochet, former Red Sox, or now Red Sox, former White Sox, 10-4, 2.23 ERA. He's become one of the best pitchers in baseball. Up-and-coming stud, Cade Horton, 3-3 with a 4.45 ERA. 1:20 showdown, Central Time, Wrigley Field. Cubs are looking for their 60th win. They're 59-39. The Red Sox 53-47 after back-to-back losses. They'd won 10 in a row, and then they've run into the Cubs, who are red hot. Now, the last thing I want to say is, how about the Brewers? I mean, they just won't go away. And I do got to tell you, I've enjoyed watching them beat up on the Dodgers. Look, I know they're only a game back right now in the Central, and they've won 9 in a row. Cubs have won 4 in a row. They've been playing good baseball. The Dodgers go out and spend $1 billion on their roster, and they're getting just dismantled by the Brewers. Shame on you, Shohei Ohtani and Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. Go look at your World Series rings, you guys, as you're getting handled by the Brewers, who sell off their best players. We'll play the Brewers real soon, and we'll straighten them out. But even though they're in our division, it's always nice to see the big spending teams lose, like the Dodgers. And then when I hear the rumors that they're looking at Tucker, I really hate them. Anyway, thanks for hanging on the channel. I didn't forget about you, Cardinals. Look, shame on you, Cardinals. 8.5 games back. You guys scared everybody like you were going to actually be in the race. Now you're in 4th place. You stink. All right, like, subscribe, thumbs up, hit the bell. Thanks to D Community. Stay connected. That's where we're going to be having our contest really soon. And, hey, have an absolutely great Sunday, and go